Alright, so what you probably saw from the video description, this is an unboxing of Palmetto State Armory barreled receiver and a build kit. I'll explain more of that later. First of all, this is how the box came. There was an outer box over this that it was shipped in, but you can see here, that's the charging, or the bolt handle, bolt carrier handle, charging handle, whatever. And it had poked through all this stuff, and this caused a little bit of finish issue with this part right here. So this is how I got it. I went ahead and accepted it because I didn't see anything else wrong with the rifle when I picked it up. It is a blim. This is considered one of their blims. It was inspected by DM. Probably can't make that out, but I'll cut that off here in a bit. It's odd. I'll just get a good look at it here. All right, so here's a bit of a look at it here. You can see the finish. It's a pretty good finish. I'm not really seeing a lot of, or anything that I would consider a blim, unless we get into what I'm going to talk about here in a little bit with the mags. But just run it through here. There's the notch for the handguard. It looks like it's a single notch, or it could actually be two notches right next to each other. It's hard to tell. I would have to compare it to a handguard notch on a regular AK, and I'm not proficient enough in them to know if that's one big notch, or if that's one notch that's normal size, or if it's two that are cut together. The reason I brought that up is one of the forums I visit talked about the handguard. This was one of the issues with some of the kits that came in, was there were two notches right beside each other. Conjoining notches is what they're calling it. But here's the front of the rifle. You can see the muzzle brake fits just fine. Let me see if I can get it lined up here. The sights don't seem to be canted or anything. The bolt carrier and bolt, I mean, they a little tight, but nothing I would be too concerned about. I think that this right here going in is actually the piston being too tight on the carrier. As you can see, there's no wobble here. So the piston is pinned on, and there's no wobble. I mean, it is solid. And you can see here, if you can check that, if the camera's going to catch it, there is some wear right around the edges there. So I do think it's engaging and hitting right up here, one-handed. All right, so when this comes up here, see, there's that same pressure I get, resistance I get right there is the same whether I have the bolt in or not. So I don't know if it's rubbing up here, which I think it is, or if it's back here somewhere. Here's what it looks like inside. Not sure if the camera's going to catch all that or not, but overall, I don't really see any blims with the rifle. The handguard retainer attaches fine. I don't know what it'll be like when I get a handguard on there, but I'll do that here in a little bit. But I mean, I don't really see why they considered this one a blim, unless it's what there's two things that it might be. Oh, and here's the bolt. We'll get a good look at that. It's about as good as I can get it and stay in focus. But no issues with the bolt. You can see some, or at least I did yesterday. Yeah, like along here, you can see some where they test fired it. There's some wear there. The extractor seems fine. The pin's all the way in. One of the guys on the forum had an issue with his extractor, but this one seems nice and tight, but it is moving, so it looks good from my novice eyes anyway. I have a few AKs, but I'm by no means an expert. Gas tube looks fine. Like I said, there's the There's some finish issues here, but I mean, I wouldn't consider that a blim. I mean, it's going to wear in anyway here. Bolt carrier, everything looks fine. And then here's the dust cover. This might be one of the reasons it's a blim, but I don't even know if I would consider that a blim. It's just got some little fine scratches on the park or whatever finish they have on this. Nothing major. I mean, it just, you know, all the serial numbers match. There's a serial number here, and then there's one on the bolt carrier. There's one on the bolt, 8183. There's one on the, of course, on the receiver. I didn't see any rust anywhere. The rifle doesn't look overly dirty. There might just be a tin, or just a little bit of either rust or dirt or something right down in there. It's hard to tell, but it looks like it's okay. The barrel does have some residue in it where it was fired, so I'll need to clean that out, run a swab down through there. All the finish looks good to me. I mean, I don't see any blims really. Front sight drum's tight. All the rivets look fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm not seeing any gaps on the rivets. They don't look pressed in too hard or dimpled or anything. Everything looks good. All right. So here's I did not order a full build kit. I ordered just their stock kit. It says build kit, but all that came in it, running for the Handguard. But this is the stock kit that I got. I got the plastic. It was $49.99, and I only got this because I didn't have the hardware, pistol grip screw, and all that to attach a stock. And the only spare AK stocks I had on hand was the cheap blonde washer wood that's coming out with the washers nowadays. And I didn't really care for it, so I got this. Plus, it's got the little trap door I'm going to use with a cleaning kit. I thought that would be neat. So everything in here looks fine. I ordered one of their safety levers because that was another part I didn't have in my already have in my parts bin or whatever, and mine looks fine. There was again, this is some. The reason I'm pointing this out is there were some comments on one of the forums I go to that indicated that some of their safety levers they got in their build kits were very bad finish. Mine looks fine. I don't see any issues with it. You can see there, no scratches or anything. It looks fine. And then I got one of their keeper, whatever, their pin retaining plates instead of the shepherd's hook. I have shepherd hook, but I wanted to try that. Put this back together and see how the recoil assemblies work. So this is the standard. This is the surplus. I believe it's a Romanian one. And it goes in and fits under this. Fits in the tail just fine. With light cycling, I can get the action to work. No problem. Now there it hung up a little bit. But if I let it go from about right there, it shuts all the way. If I go all the way back, of course it shuts all the way. If I just kind of barely cycle it, if I just let go even there, it shuts. But there it's a little close. And if I have to push it home, but just a little tap and it's in there. So I'm thinking once I go shoot this, that will work itself out. That will wear in nicely. And then the other recoil spring, the telescoping, this is a Polish. It was sold as new, and it seems brand new. And it fits fine. So, and I think this is the one I'm going to run in it for now, since it's new. And there's again the back there, it's fine. There, it's fine. If I just do it manually and don't let it snap forward, I have to push it. But not much. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. So I don't know if that's a tight chamber or the bolt carrier is hanging up somewhere up here. But like I said, I think once I shoot it, that'll work itself out. Now this, some of you AK guys might know, I don't know what country of origin this is. It doesn't say anywhere on it, of course, and I am not enough of a mag guy to know. Now, I do have that's a bolt hold open follower I put in myself, Weapon Tech, I believe. But I don't know what country that's from. It's a surplus European. And here's a Magpul MOE. Here's another surplus European, not sure. It might be the same type as this one, but I'll try them both. And what else do I got? Oh, 20 round Korean. Good old Tapco. Let's just start with it. So here's the Tapco. Locks in fine. Actually, the Tapco has very little wobble. But my main concern, here's one of the 20 round Korean. Locks in fine. Everything seems all right. And actually, but this is what I'm concerned about. I don't know if this is an issue or not. My other AKs have some of this, but it seems like it wants to rock forward a little bit. See that? And I don't know. Maybe it's not an issue. I'll actually, this one's loaded, so I got to make sure I don't rack this one. See, a little bit of wobble. More than I like. But, you know, it fits, locks in, so. Here's the Russian. I don't know if that's Tula or Ishivix or whatever the other one is. But it doesn't really wobble, but it still has that front to rear. See that? That wants to tip forward a little bit. Doesn't want to come out, but it's just got a little play there. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to go over. I'm looking forward to getting this thing put together and shooting it and seeing how it does. All right, so I put her together. I spared putting that on video because there is a very good video on Palmetto State Armory's website showing how to do it. Now, my assembly of this, I don't want to use the term build because the hard parts of the rifle that was built is already done. But the assembly of this was not quite as trouble-free as the PSA video made it look. It's centered around that handguard retainer. Where I thought mine was a single cut, it was actually two. I don't know if you could tell in the earlier video. I'll bring it up right here and show. You can see where they tried to make another cut, and there's actually a little bit of a ridge in between the edges. It's hard to explain what I mean. But basically, the cut wasn't far enough forward, so I was not able to lock the handguard retainer on. I ended up having to take a file and file it further forward to get it to fit. And after several file a little bit, test fit, file a little bit, test fit, I finally got it to work. I threw a little bit of a touch-up black paint on there just to keep it from rusting. But that was the main issue I had putting the gun together. Everything else went together fine with no issues. Yeah. So, you know, it's just a black plastic furniture. It's kind of chintzy, but, you know, it works. The muzzle brake up here, I'm going to see if I can get this on. It fits pretty well flush, but again, there's some issue with this. And I don't know what this is. Problem is, but this little detent, it like slides back and forth. It never comes all the way out, and it doesn't move when you turn the thing, but it's just weird. And you can see here, I don't know if this is catching on video, where they replaced this pin after it was finished, because you can see that one has got the finish knocked off of it and this one doesn't. So they had some issue with this when they were doing their final inspections or something. Maybe this was what they considered the blim. The whole time I was thinking it was this, and it was definitely more than a blim. This should have been we need to recut this again. I should have had two cuts in mine like a lot of other people had. Anyway, this I think might have been the blim. Anyway, I don't guess that'll affect function. I mean, worst case scenario, that pops out, and then I can always fix that later. But overall, I mean, I'll have to see how she does when I fire it. I don't want to rush to judgment based on my experiences today, but it definitely wasn't as smooth and trouble-free as I thought it was going to be. The PSA, or the Generation 1 kit, I had to do a lot of fitting to get certain pieces to fit, but this one I didn't expect to do that, and it did require some. So there's, after the trigger's been installed, you can see it really doesn't want to hang up. It really doesn't want to try to hang up or anything. It's pretty, if I pull it and let it, I can't get it to stop there like some AKs do. So, the safety's a little loose. I might pull it back out and bend it to try to tighten it up. I do plan on taking it out and shooting it in the next couple weeks, so I'll be posting a video of that. So subscribe to my channel if you want to see that, and you have a good day and be safe out there shooting.